everyone, back to another episode here on the Cardheads YouTube channel. Tonight, I am joined by Bryan Wells of ShipMyCards. How are you?
How are you, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for your time.
Of course.
Joining with me here tonight. I'm sure most of our audience and users know who Bryan is, but if not, Bryan, if you want to just give a little brief background of who you are, how you got into the hobby, that'd be great.
So I collected as a kid, like most of us have, right? Stopped collecting when I was about 20, 21 years old, somewhere, maybe a little bit younger. Was out of the hobby for many, many years. And then I had a small break between my bank job and a mortgage job. And I started pulling out cards out of the garage again, started pulling up values and pulling up old 90s inserts and playing on eBay to see how much I could sell them for, right? Because I'm not really collecting anymore. Well, instead of selling them, I found myself buying more and going to the local card shop and, opening wax of cards and stuff. And this was 2012, 13 year. So he picked up I personally collect penny Hardaway back before I stopped collecting. And then, so when I came back into the hobby, I just started finding autographs and stuff that wasn't around when I used to collect, and just started buying way too much. So went back and started a massive penny Hardaway collection. And over the years found out, went back to Beckett and Card Hobby and or Hobby Kings and all these other different places that we used to buy and sell trade cards. And then once I found Facebook, it was over, man. Spent way too much money, way too much time playing with cards all day long when I should be working. And I remember I worked at Wells Fargo Home Mortgage for a while. You used to bring my cards that I sold on eBay, and I'd be taping them up when I'm supposed to be on my conference call in the meetings. And my manager next to me like, Bryan, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm selling my eBay cards.
Yeah.
So it was fun. And then, we started ShipMyCards about 2017. So probably a little bit before that, 2015, 2016. I used to collect my player Penny Hardaway. There came to a point where I decided I wanted every card ever made. So I was master collecting, right? And we would find a card in Austria or Australia or Philippines or something, and I'm paying $35 for a card, and I got paid $35 to mail it home to me. So it just didn't make sense. So I teamed up with other penny Hardaway collectors everywhere. We had, my penny Hardaway collector in France would hold my cards in France, in Australia would hold my cards in Australia, and I would hold his cards here in the USA. So about once a month, once every 2 months, we just kind of trade back and forth. So he was my Australian address, and I'd be his USA address, and that's kind of how ShipMyCards started. 2017, my son was maybe 15 years old, and he's talking about he wants a job and he wants to make some money. I'm like, oh, well, just like I do for these 10 penny Hardaway guys, we'll just open it up for everyone and charge a little bit per package, and you'll have a job. And it worked for a couple of weeks, and then he decided it wasn't enough money for him, so he kind of abandoned me, and next thing you know, it just kept growing and growing. And today we're doing about 14,000 or 1,400 packages a day coming in. We have about 20,000 users, so it's growing. And now we get to help many collectors, and also help a lot of the local people we know with employment and other things. So it's kind of exploded over the years, and just continues to grow today.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. First off, it was very insightful thinking to do that, to make that circuit with the other collectors and have them hold your cards. That's pretty cool. And I can see how that can kind of transition into what you have now with ShipMyCards. And I've bought cards just like you said on the Facebook groups from people, or sold cards to people, or traded, and I've either received a package from ShipMyCards, or sent their card to ShipMyCards for them. They have an account with you guys. So I've dealt with ShipMyCards, and it's always been perfectly fine. You wouldn't even really know. Like, I was, some of the times I buy cards, and it comes from you guys, but like, you wouldn't even know, the person's just like, all right, cool, like, it's on its way. And then it comes in and it says ShipMyCards, and you're like, oh, okay. But now you said you're up to like 1,400 packages a day.
Yeah, so we're doing about 35,000 the last couple months. So 35,000 packages a month for the last couple months.
Wow.
It's like clockwork. It's all about technology. Our technology, we keep pumping money into technology and trying to find ways to make us a little quicker, a little faster, a little more secure.
Right.
And then it's all referrals. We don't do any advertisement. I think this is my second call I made in 5 years, or second podcast in 5 years now. So we don't advertise. We don't throw our name out there. We're not paying for advertisement like other companies. It's all referral based. It's all word of mouth. It's just like our employees. We keep a very tight circle, right? Because we have valuables, and so we only take referrals from other clients. Other collectors refer us and refer us and refer us, and there's some of these groups where people are starting to refer me out, and I'm like, whoa, I don't collect UFC cards, but we're getting a ton of UFC collectors all at the same time. So it's good to feel the love and know that it's all from natural growth instead of promoting and doing things the wrong way. So
Right. Right.
yeah,
So, man, that's a lot of mail to keep track of. So I imagine over the years now, you guys have really like zoned in on like a workflow process. And you guys have that many packages coming in. I imagine you have, hundreds, if not thousands of packages going out every day as well. So kind of, and then I also have to assume that you have cards that kind of move in between your clients. Like maybe they trade or they sell it and it just moves from like their holdings to the other person's holdings. Do you guys have like, how do you guys do that? Do you have a massive like warehouse space, and do you have like two different teams working on the things coming in, the things going out? How is that?
There's a big thing. So first, when we bought our house that we currently live in, right, with the family, I remember when we bought it, it has like a weird walk-in closet at the end of a hallway. Like it's not part of a bedroom, it's not part of anything. So when we bought the house, we're like, oh, this little closet is gonna be perfect for the cards. And it's probably, I don't know, 20 square feet, like the 5x4, just a little walk-in closet. And we used to rank them up there, threw a little desk in there. And as we got bigger and bigger, we moved into a bedroom of the house, and we took over 2 bedrooms of the house. And then right at 2 years ago, so June of 2020, we moved into our first warehouse. It's about 2,600 square feet. So we went from about 400 square feet of my house to 2,600 square feet of a warehouse. And we're like, man, this is huge. It's massive. The front of the warehouse was nothing. We put a basketball court in there and a couch. Like we were never ever going to get that big. And within about 9 months, we outgrew that whole warehouse. So we started with a little room, and we just grew and grew and grew. And over time, it's all about technology. It's all about streamlining the process. So today, about a year ago, June of last year, so a little less than a year ago, we moved into our warehouse where we're in now, or no, May 17th of last year. So almost exactly a year. We moved into our current warehouse where we have a 21,000 square foot warehouse. We have like our card library. Our card room is about 2,600 square feet, and it's just very, very well organized, alphabetical order for every user. Very well organized, and so yeah, so we have it where collectors could trade back and forth, or where they, if I sell you a card, I can transfer it from my box to your box. And back in 2019, that's what the website was all about. It's all about trying to keep me organized. So instead of, Johnny telling me he's going to transfer his card to Harry, and I have to remember it by the time I got home from real estate, we put it on the website. The website reminds me, so I actually make the physical transfer and hit complete, and then it's done. So the website back 2019, we're forward thinking, right? We're trying to think, how can we stay organized? When people want to make a shipment request, it was through the website, and that's pretty much all the website was for. And then every month or so, every month or 2 months, we keep adding more and more to the website, mainly on the admin side and the collector side. That way, it's just an easy, streamlined process. So if I want to transfer my card to you, I could go in there, hit a transfer electronically. It'll transfer right away. So it goes from my profile to your profile. You'll see it. And then the next business day, we do it twice a day. First thing when we get here, and last thing before we go home, actually go do the physical transfers. So it makes it easy middleman service. When people are worried about it, we do middleman servicing. So like you said before, you might not even realize you're using ShipMyCards, but people will send their cards to us, and then they'll sell them on eBay or they'll sell them on Facebook, and they make a quick shipment request and we get them out the next day. So we'll make their shipments out for them. We got a couple breakers that send us all their cards, and we mail out all their cards. We have some eBay sellers. They send us all of their eBay sales, or they'll send us all of their cards that they're listing on eBay. And as they sell, they just put them in our website and we ship them out. So it's all about technology, man. If it wasn't for
Right.
our website, I would be so disorganized. It's crazy.
Yeah. And have you, I'm assuming also that you continue to see like more and more active users on the website daily, more and more like transactions and just uh, time spent on the website.
Right.
I have to assume that you're seeing, good growth in that as well.
Yeah. So as we do more options on the website, you see people checking in more often. So before, a user might sign in once a day to just see what new cards came in. And now they're signing in 3 or 4 times a day to see if there's anything new on the website or any transfers happened, or we have an online store. So when it was really tough to find product, we used to have a lot of my friends that would stay at the Walmarts and Targets and stay the night over there and bring us the product the next day. So once we were started to upload the online store like 3 or 4 times a day, people would sign in more often and buy from the online store. So we're starting to see more. The next future steps in our website is really trying to make it where it's more user friendly, all user interface. So we have a lot of the admin side of it completed, a lot of the collector side of it completed, where it's really easy. But for a non-user, for someone that doesn't use our website to come in and kind of get the feel of things beforehand, is not user friendly. The first page you see is sign up or sign in now. So we're working on that. That's probably our next future steps is where non-users could come in, learn more about the company, or pull up, a certain type Jason Tatum in the top, and anyone who has a public record, they'll be able to see who has what Jason Tatum is available with us or something like that. So just making it a little bit more friendly to the public. That way people that don't know who we are can come in, see our reviews, see what we do, and kind of trust us from there. So we just want to be a trusted middleman, whether we're on the seller side of it or the buyer side of it, just be in the middle and be that trusted thing to make the hobby better.
Yeah. And to that point, you see some other platforms and some other companies now. We've seen a couple over the past couple months do these partnerships where you'll have like a big platform using this other company to kind of be this middleman or authenticator. Do you see you guys kind of teaming with like another company or a platform where you guys could work together and maybe grow out that way as well?
Yeah, so we've talked about many things, right? Like over the last couple of years, everything's changed in the hobby.
Right.
We've even talked about vault servicing and some of the big guys that do vault servicing, a lot of the auction houses where you or leveraging your cards, you have $1 million in assets there that lend you borrow 2 or
Right.
300K, something like that, right? And we've talked to other big guys in the hobby and that would offer and help support that kind of platform on ShipMyCards. And we really decided to take a step back, and instead of continuing to work or compete with other companies that are hitting out those big things, we're going to specialize in what we do. We want to be the premier shipping and consolidation company. And instead of us doing, vault servicing for the large end cards, or instead of us doing leveraging off cards or consignments ourselves, we just want to partner with those same reputable companies. So we partner with a lot of the big auction houses. We partner with some smaller eBay consignment companies, and we just partner with them. So instead of us trying to specialize in 800 different things, we want to specialize in what we're good at, and then just partner with reputable companies that already do those other options. So yeah, I mean, we do partner with some grading companies and some consignment companies, even vault servicing. At first when we reach out to them, they're like, "Oh, you're a competitor." I'm like, whoa, let's find a way to work together instead.
Right.
And I think in the long run, it works out for me, it works out for them. They get to do what they're best at, we get to do what we're best at, and in the long run, our collectors are taken care of. So
Yeah. And that answer is like answered. It didn't really answer, but my next comment was going to be how it seems like, and it's refreshing that you are like focused on like what you just said, just being who you guys are and not really, getting distracted with these other areas that you may be able to, pivot into or move into. Um, I was going to make that uh, comment on how from the outside, it very much seems like you're focused on just being who you are, right? And we've seen other companies kind of do three, four things at once, instead of, kind of zoning in on what they do. And you made another good insight there when you mentioned how the other company was like, oh, we're competitors, and you said, hey, no, like, let's work together. And it is unfortunate that you don't see that a lot, and it would be nice to see that more. I'm personally heavy into like the crypto and NFT and Web3 space. And that's one of the things that differs from like the traditional business space, is that in that space, it is very much like, hey, we're working on the same thing. Let's come together and make it bigger.
Okay.
Whereas like in the traditional business space, it's like, hey, we're working on the same thing. I need to find out how to kill you. Like, and it's just, it's so destructive and not, yeah, I just feel like if people came together, it would be a much more broader impact for everybody.
We are the world. We are the world. We are the children. We are the children.
Okay, and there's other shipping companies that do, the same idea that we do. There's ones that did it before me. There's ones that are bigger than me. There's ones that are smaller than me. And I'm open. I'm very transparent. If the smaller guy, if they need help, I let them know what struggles we went through, what worked for us, what doesn't work for us. The bigger guys, we had conference calls and group texts back when eBay started rolling out sales tax, right?
Mhm.
So years ago, and we're talking about, what are you going to do when it hits your state? What are your plans? What are my plans? How can we work together and make sure that the collectors aren't as affected as we thought they would be at first. And it worked out well. We had our plan put together, they had their plan put together. As soon as sales tax hit Arizona, when the guy's like, breaking news, sales tax in Arizona, I was like, oh, you buddy, we talk every day, but we already knew we had a plan around it. So it kind of worked for us, it worked for them. And as long as we work together, it's the same thing. There's plenty of collectors to go help. There's some people out there that see me as their competition and they don't want to work together.
Mhm.
But we're here to help the hobby. So if it was all about money, we wouldn't do half the stuff we do.
Right.
There's some collectors that don't mail big items because big items take up all the space, and it doesn't make sense for us. It doesn't make sense either. But it's collector based. As a collector, I want to be able to buy my Penny Hardaway shoes and get them mailed to me, just like someone else might want to buy their Jordans and get them mailed to them. So just because it doesn't make business sense doesn't mean it doesn't make sense for our company. So we just stay collector focused on everything we do. Whether if we make a dollar, we make a dollar. If we lose a dollar, we lose a dollar. As long as it all breaks even at the end of the day, and we can continue to help people. It works for me.
Right. Being having like going from the closet to the bedrooms to the warehouse to the now warehouse that's 10 times the size of the last warehouse. What are some of like the interesting things that you've seen along the way, or like lessons and insights that you've gotten along the way about the hobby, but also about like having a business inside of this hobby?
Right. There's many things. The first thing is making sure that our security and our technology work for us. So everything we do, every time we touch a card, every time it comes in, every time it goes out, we're under video surveillance every time. Everything's timestamped. Every time, if you want me to rephoto your card, you put a request in there to rephoto it. By the time I touch it, rephoto it, everything's timestamped. So the technology really helps us on everything. Heaven forbid, instead of putting in Michael 1 file, I accidentally put it back in Michael 2's file type idea. everything's timestamped, so we could go back, pull a video, see, oh, that's exactly what happened, and get it corrected. Everything's double verified. So every shipment request, we verify it once when we are getting ready to ship it out. Then it moves over to a shipping team. They'll verify the second time. And that way, everything we do that comes in is double verified. Everything we do that goes out is double verified. And just the camera system, it helps keep honest people honest, of course. But if I didn't trust them, I wouldn't hire them, right? But the biggest thing with our camera system is it helps us so many times where we're like, it's a big pair of shoes, and instead of putting it in a box, we kind of put in the next file system for larger items. We pull a camera, we're like, oh, that's what we did. So our camera system, our technology, everything like that is really what keeps us super well organized. Heaven forbid, there ever is a mistake. We have all the pictures that we've ever taken of every card since about 2020, so about 2.5 years now. So we can go back and check the envelope that the card originally came in, check the timestamps, make sure everything's lined up. So the technology really, really helps. And then, as we continue to grow, we learn more about the hobby. Every collector is different. There's some collectors that collect the very cheap items, but they're super special to them. There's other collectors that will collect super unique items. So really, instead of focusing on just the process for cards, we got to make sure that we're always growing and expanding to manage the different types of collectors. Whether it's someone who personally collects, whether it's somebody who's a flipper and buying and selling things all the time. And then so many things that you don't think about when you're growing a business. Being a small business owner, I always did real estate. So my personal business was all about me. It was my income tax, my everything. And now, we have tons of employees and W-2s at the end of the year, and different types of health insurance and 401k and all this different stuff that we offer now. It is just totally different than just thinking about, helping somebody store their cards in the United States. So
Right.
so there's a lot more to it. Things that keep me busy or keep me up at night that we don't even think about. And I'm like, oh, I forgot it's Wednesday. I got to do payroll or just something small. So
Right.
there's a lot to it, but at the end of the day, it's a family here. So if everyone gets together, everyone helps out, it makes it real easy.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned like cards and shoes. So as far as the items that collectors can send in and keep stored there and use you guys as a service, what are some of the different items that you guys accept and allow people to send in?
It's probably easier to say what we don't accept.
Okay.
So we get pretty much everything. We've had everything from car parts to a 6-foot aquarium light to Roombas. At one time, it was really cheap here in America for Roombas, where in Australia it was a lot more expensive. So we have people buying like 6 Roombas at a time and mailing them back. It's crazy. So our biggest thing is we want to help a collector, right? We're not trying to help you fund your business overseas of shipping Roombas. So if it gets out of hand, we might call it out. But for the most part, we accept anything. We don't accept any liquids, drugs. We're still a family business. I have a lot of religious people work for me, so I don't want to see a whole bunch of playboys coming across or anything like that. But at the same time, we see a lot of items. We see PlayStations here and there. It just gets really tricky with import and export. So there's some laws, tobacco or even matches, a book of matches. They're collectible, but you can't ship them air, so you can't ship them overseas. It's a pain. And of course, we learn from experience when we're trying to ship them, and we're like, oh, I can't do this. But yeah, so there's anything that could damage my cards we don't want in. So in the FAQ, there's a small portion like mainly liquids, drugs, medicine, and then anything that's federally regulated. So there's a lot. Some countries don't allow certain things, but for the most part, we accept everything as long as it makes sense. As long as it's short term. I don't want to ship your Mercedes here and keep it here all weekend or all year or something. But you want it here for a weekend, we'll make it work. Yeah. So we ship all sorts of things. The fun stuff that we see, all sorts of sports related stuff, all sorts of larger items. We got a couple guys that rebuild cars or rebuild bicycles overseas, so that they're sending us bike parts all the time, or just different things. So we see a lot of stuff. But for me, it's all about the sports memorabilia. So I'm walking around and I'm helping someone, and I see, you know, a certain card. I'm like, oh my god, or I see a old, you know, it's something crazy that I haven't seen in years. You know, it catches me. I see it from across the room. I'm like, oh wait, let me take a look at that real quick.
Right.
Um, and you know, I mean, John Morant's been blowing it up. We see so many John Morant jerseys and basketballs and all sorts of other stuff. So to me, that's the fun stuff is where you see, you know, memorabilia and stuff that you don't see pretty often.
Yeah. So I didn't know that you guys took in like all kinds of stuff like that. That's pretty interesting.
Not for the close ones. Like, this is not ship my Roomba. Like, we don't want to see any more Roombas this week. Please stop sending us Roombas. So we're super secure, right? We don't give anyone our address for the warehouse. So all of our stuff still goes. We use what's called call service. Like, it all goes to the post office. We go to the back door and pick up our mail, you know, every day. So when we have these Roombas, we're over there taking like 4 trips to the post office because the Roomba is taking up the whole back seat of the minivan type stuff. And but it's fun. You see
Yeah.
different things, but sometimes I gotta be like, come on, guys, like enough's
Right.
enough. How many vacuums do you need to vacuum one house?
Right.
And the guy's like, well, it's just a great deal. So I bought one for my cousin, my mom, my brother, my coworker. I'm like, man, this guy.
That's funny. What are some of the what are some of the sports pieces that over the years have really like you just stopped and looked at you like this is cool.
Well, there's some amazing stuff, man. And you see them at the big auction houses. So whether they're
Yeah.
at PWCC or Golden, things like that, we go out to the big auction houses to hand pick up or hand deliver cards pretty often as well.
Okay.
So we have some of my collectors, you know, we each team up. There's 5 or 6 people that win something from the auction house. The auction house requires you to have insurance. It requires you to pay sales tax and stuff like that. So if I go pick it up by hand, we get to save the insurance, we get to save the sales tax, we get to save some of those things. So we get to go to the auction houses and pick up some of the most amazing stuff. Game worn shoes from NBA players is some of the cool stuff. Any of the big cards, you know, your LeBron limited logos rookie, your LeBron exquisite rookie. We've seen all those kind of cards go through my hand. So that's what I really enjoy is when, you know, collectors like, hey, can you fly up here and pick up this card for me? You know, it's a little too nice to have it shipped. So then I get to go meet other collectors or meet other companies, network with other companies, and see some of those pieces of art that or pieces cards that I would never ever see in my own collection.
Yeah.
So
that's
you know, 6 and 7 digit cards are amazing, and you know, to hold it for a little while and until I get to ship it back out or go deliver it to the next auction house or something. Yeah, there's some of the most unique pieces I've seen through us.
yeah, that's pretty exciting. And it's cool because you get to see just from everywhere, you know, like I'm sure you have collectors that collect all kinds of people and different things. So you're able to get a wide range of you know, kind of items. When somebody sends their stuff to you guys, how does it work as far as like how long they can keep it there? Is it insured while it's there? If somebody like buys it and it gets shipped out to, let's say, China, Australia, wherever, like how does that process work also?
Yeah, so we have all sorts of different things. We are fully insured. We're insured for more of the value than any of our products are at the warehouse. So as we continue to grow, we have to keep reevaluating that, going back to the collection agency and the insurance agency and upping our collection insurance. When we travel, we're insured. So we try to round and dabble around with like card show consignment a little bit. So whenever our collectors are sending their cards with us, whether I'm going to the auction house or picking them up from the auction house, we make sure that's covered under the insurance as well. So insurance is important. You know, we always hope nothing ever happens, but heaven forbid it does. We have to make sure we're protected as well. So I mean, it's expensive, but it's part of the business that we have to do. When items are coming in, what was it? What were you saying about when items coming in? The storage?
Right,
Or?
right. So is it based on like how long
Oh, yeah.
is
All
a
right.
user charge like on how long it sits there and
Right.
whatnot?
So our pricing is based on per item when it comes in. So when an item is coming into us, a basic card, we charge $2 to Arizona. If it goes to Oregon first, we charge an extra couple bucks for it because it has a forward from Oregon to us. So we charge $5 instead of $2. So a single card is like $2 or $5. The bigger the item, you're mailing me cases and cases of cards, you're mailing me a Roomba. We're going to charge, 20 or $30 to Arizona instead of just two. Up until later this year, we've always had unlimited time of storage. So before we never charged extra. Starting later this year, we're December this year actually. So starting next month, we're asking that collectors mail their stuff home within about 6 months. If they don't mail it home in 6 months, we're going to charge an extra 10%. So instead of charging the $2 for the card, it'll end up being like $2.20 or $2.40, depending how long they keep it here. But that's a brand new change. It's actually announced today on the Facebook groups and some of the other. They're going to have to re-click on the terms, but it'll roll into effect in about 6 months. Before any of those kind of changes happen, we want to make sure everyone's aware. Right. We did our last price change back in June of 2020. So that's when it went to $2 for the card, and that's when we got our warehouse and hired first employees and had to do insurance, right. Employee insurance, all this stuff. Overhead that I didn't have when it's just myself, my wife, and my son type idea. Right. So yeah, pretty much 6 months. We want to see everything in and out within about 6 months. Like I said, we're not trying to be the vault service where we're holding your $100,000 card and trying to lend you money off it. There's other companies that work great for that, and we'll partner with them, and they can hold the card in the meantime, and when we're ready to ship it back home, we can. We do outgoing insurance. So if you live in Australia and you're mailing a card home, we prefer FedEx. We max out our insurance around $5,000 on that. So even if the customs value is really low, you can still do a high insurance amount. So because we go through third-party insurance companies, it makes it possible. So thank goodness, we've had to pay out a couple insurance claims over the year, but for the most part, everything gets there safe and sound with no issues.
Yeah, which is good, because I'm sure, for you guys sending out thousands, yeah, I'm sure that could turn into a real nightmare if they weren't doing their job well, getting the packages there.
It worked out, man. So the right when COVID hit, we ended up getting a deal with FedEx. So once we got the deal with FedEx, we kind of moved a lot of our packages to FedEx. Mm-hmm. And then COVID hit. So a lot of the competitors and other companies were taking 8 weeks to get their package to France, right. And ours was landing there in 3 to 4 days. Nice. So it was just good timing. God did it for us. We didn't take care of it. We just happened to get the right contract at the right time. And it made the world a difference. Ever since then, we praise FedEx. They take care of us well. We take care of them well. And, we continue to fight for a little more, ask for a little more discount for our collectors, ask for a little more, dimensional weight is important when you do shipping. So we ask for a special contract on dimensional weight, so it can make it just, 10 to 15 bucks cheaper on every package we send out. So FedEx does us well. We work well with them. And then we get smaller discounts with USPS and UPS and all them as well. But we really love FedEx. We have a team that's dedicated just to us. Heaven forbid something gets stuck in customs, or the package is lost and they can't find it. We have a team that is their whole job is to research for our company. So it works well for us. We send an email out to them and they get on it. And, it saves us from insurance claims. It saves us from collectors that because some of our collectors collect very low end stuff, mm-hmm. but there might be 10 of them ever made. So, if you have a Horace Grant collection and all your Horace Grants are missing, it might not be very expensive to replace value wise, but as a collector, it's not about the value. It's about trying to find those very limited items.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Which is a good point.
Yeah. So,
go ahead.
Insurance is there, but we never want to use it.
Yeah, that's for sure. So what'd you say? 2017 was the house, the closet?
So we started the Facebook group in 2017, July 2017.
Okay.
So we've been doing it almost 5 years now. For the first couple of years, it was just me and my family, and then about 2 years ago, we hired some neighbor kids and my brother and some other people to start helping out. And so now we're almost at 5 years, about 2 years in the warehouses and with true employees and a true business. Um, so it's going well.
Yeah. And I mean,
You know,
5 years to already move 3 times in 5 years. Um, like a lot of people think about starting a company and envision success and having a bunch of sales, but on on the flip side, like starting a company and then growing at the rate that you guys have been growing at, uh, a lot of times can also lead to failure because it's just too much to try to handle. So, the fact that you guys have continued to grow and move and keep growing, definitely, speaks to the fact that you guys at least like know what you're doing. You have a good operational system going on. What are like what are some of the things or maybe ideas, if you can share, that you're looking forward to, from where you are now, let's say over the next, 2, 3 years? What do you see kind of like going on, and how do you see it continuing to mature?
the biggest thing is all about the hobby, right? The hobby is always changing, whether it goes up or goes down. We don't want to focus on the value of the hobby. We don't want to focus on cards going up, cards going down. To us, it's about helping people, right? So if we're helping people save money on sales tax, it's a beautiful thing. If we're helping people save money on their postage and consolidating, it doesn't matter if they're mailing a whole bunch of $2 cards or a whole bunch of $200 cards. That postage savings is always going to be there. So for us, as the hobby goes up and down, we're going to fluctuate. We see busier months when the seasons are going and slower months when certain products don't come out. Like, if when Prism comes out, we're going to get a ton of mail every time. When you're chasing 60 cars in a single rainbow and everyone's chasing them, we get busier.
Having trouble managing your valuable collection and finding price transparency in the sports card market? Me too. That's why I use CardHedge. CardHedge is a brilliant price analysis and collection management tool. Track all your grades across PSA, CSG, HGA, SGC, BGS, and as well as your raw cards. CardHedge pulls their research from sites like eBay, StarStock, MySlabs, and Golden Auctions. You want an accurate picture of the sports card market? Yeah, me too. With over tens of thousands of cards in their system, CardHedge is the definitive sports card price guide. Quickly search by card, player, or set. Sort by price or percentage change. It has a lot of awesome advanced features. So what are you waiting for? Join today for only $14.99.
We've had times over the last couple of years where we got behind. Our goal is when a card hits me in Arizona, whether it's coming from Oregon or whether it comes direct to Arizona, that we want to get it photographed and uploaded onto the website within about 1 day. So when you have 1,400 packages, we had a COVID issue back in 2020, or no, I think it was 2021, July last year. And then next thing you know, you get a little bit behind, and then just snowballs. You get 1,000 packages every day at the time, and then you got 3,000 packages you got to get through. And it's my team, man. It's not about me at all. I found a couple people at the very beginning, and they've helped us so much that they recruit other people from their church. They recruit other people that they've known for life. And and it's all about having a good family at work, right? So when we get behind, people pitch in and work more hours, or they pitch in and come in on their days off. We don't work Sundays, but when we got behind, we had a small group of my friends that came in and worked a Sunday for us. And so it's all about catching back up. Our ship out time frames, we want to keep within about 1 week at all times. So if you're requesting a large shipment, 200 or 300 items, we still want to be able to ship that out within about the next week. And again, that's verified, double verified, packaged up safely and out the door. So there's been times where we're almost at 2.5, 3 weeks on those. And it's all about making sure we all pitch in and start cross training other team members, and having the people that normally do incoming mail switch over and help us learn how to do outgoing mail, and vice versa. And
Right.
If it wasn't for my team and the leaders of the team that kind of help and recruit, we would be just like those other companies with huge delays and catching up later. But we've had our ebbs and flows. We get a little bit behind, and then we kind of cross train and readdress and get caught up pretty quickly.
Nice. So let me ask, did your son end up coming back asking
Oh,
you for a job?
Yeah, Yeah, you can go through. I like it. Yeah. So funny thing, he left us. He was like, I'm done. These people are text messaging me at 2 a.m. I'm like, bro, they live in Australia. They live in the Philippines. You know, their time frame's different than ours. And he's 15, 16. You know, he was playing freshman basketball. He was
Right.
playing freshman football. So he's a busy kid. And he's like, Dad, like, I'm done. So finally, about 2019, about 2 years later, when we rolled into the website, and you know, then instead of it being him saying, hey, your cards are here, he just goes to the website, and the website does kind of that work for him. Or instead of them having questions and asking me or him directly, they could go to the website and ask questions.
Right.
Once it came on that, he was all about it. Like, so now he put in his work all through high school. He's working with us now, but again, I do real estate. That's my main business. Well, that's how I pay my family bills.
Got it.
And you know, I just play around at this hobby like 80 hours a week instead.
Right.
But my son is now he's going through real estate classes, so he could get real estate, so he could sell real estate with me. If I need help there, he can help me there. If I need help on cards, he could run any part of the business. Whether it's the shipping side, the incoming mail, that we call needs assistance. So kind of the group in the middle that takes care of everything in the middle. He's the only other one that we do what's called video card review, where we'll I don't want most of the team taking cards out of top loaders or taking cards out of magnet cases, right? Just less liability for me. So he's the only other one that now he does a video card review. He's getting very, very good at being like, oh, you know, I want to grade this card, or yeah, this card is very gradable. So he's really learning the hobby. He's learning things, but he's not a collector, man. He's not a collector at all. He's super clean. He's super organized. Ever since growing up, he'd be the 4-year-old, and you know, and my room's a mess, and I go into his room, and his room's all tight, neat, bed made. He's just a different mind frame than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great.
it works out well though.
Yeah. No, that is really cool. I have a 12-year-old son, so to think about kind of growing a business together and working together, that's an amazing thing to think about.
So we have 3 kids. My 19-year-old works for us. He works, you know, full-ish time, not full time, but full time. And then I have a 15-year-old, and he just got done with, you know, high school football, high school soccer. I'm like, hey, you're done. You know, you gonna come work for us in the summer? He's like, nah, Dad, I don't even want to go there. Like, I'm gonna stay home. I'm gonna play my video games. Like, and he does like come to the warehouse because I'm like, oh, let's go. Well, we're just stopping by for a half hour. And then like 3 hours later, we're finally going home. And he's like, you told me a half hour. I'm not going back. I'm not getting tricked. And then we have my 11-year-old, and my 11-year-old does jujitsu right down the street. So every day she has to come anyways, right? So she comes before her class, and then after class she comes, and she runs this warehouse. She is the only one that will let you know right away if you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, my daughter is the same way.
Yeah, she doesn't care if it's an employee. She doesn't care if it's mom or if it's dad. Like, I'll be walking and I have my Pepsi in my hand. Like, I'm always drinking my Pepsi, right? And I'm walking in and I'm talking to someone, and I walk into a card room, and my daughter's like, Dad, you're not allowed to have a drink in here.
Yeah.
No, listen. Okay, what?
Like everything they do at this house, it can.
And you know, at first I'm like, I'm the boss. I'm like, do whatever I want, you know. And then she gets back at me. She's like, Dad, what if you drop that Pepsi and it happens to spill on a card? I'm like, you're absolutely right, baby. You're absolutely right. So the 11-year-old is really the boss around here some days.
Yeah, no, that is so great, because that's how my daughter is just turned 8, and that's how I feel. She's like 8 going on 21,
Right.
and she'll like tell me stuff. She'll be like, Dad, and I'm like, all right, I get it.
And she's right, because I'm like, you're right. You know, part of me is like, I'm not having my Pepsi wherever I want. She's like, what if it falls and you get a drip? I'm like, you know what, baby, you're absolutely right. So you know, they ask her at school, what are you going to do when you grow up? And her response is always like, well, it depends what happens with my parents' business. And my brothers don't want to take it over. I guess I'm going to have to. And I'm like, this chick. Yeah.
That is hilarious. So we're going to wrap up here soon, but how many team members do you guys have now? Like, how big has the team grown to now?
So we have a lot of team members. Altogether, payroll is a little over 1,000 or 1,100 hours a week. So it comes out to about 25 FTE. The thing is we have many part-time employees. So to me, it's not about having the 40-hour employee that can sit here 9 to 5 and do the same job. It's about getting the right people in the right times. So we have many stay-at-home moms that will work here part-time, you know, 3-4 days a week when their kids are off at school. We have a lot of part-time employees that come in, and to me, you have two things that are important to me. One, you have to be 100% trustworthy. So we don't hire, we're never hiring. But if somebody knows of referral, I'm always willing
Right.
to talk to them.
Yeah.
So it has to be 100% trustworthy, and it has to be from our circle, right? I only do referrals of our team. And then the second thing is they have to have a sense of urgency, man. So at first, when we first start hiring, I'm like, I don't care how slow they are, I don't care what's going on, as long as they're trustworthy, I'm good. And then next thing you know, they're walking around like blah blah blah. I'm like, bro, like it gets under my skin. So I'm like, come on, let's hustle up, let's go.
Yeah.
And so now we have about 1,000 hours a week. It comes out to around 50 employees, but there's some that they come in, they're 3 days for 3 hours, and they do their job well. They come in, they do their little part, they pitch in. We couldn't run our group without them, so they're super important to stay with us. But altogether, it's around 50 employees, and a lot of them are part-time. And then during the college season, everyone's about to get out of college for the year. We got, friends and family that are out of state for college. They're like, hey, can I come back? And I'm like, I don't really need an employee for a month or two. But if it's a good fit, we'll make it work.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
them, like the sense of like accomplishment and like fulfillment that you must have being able to have all those 50 different people, to the point you've made a couple of times, come in and, like help them out and give them a place that they can go and, earn some money, but also be in, a safe environment where they feel, wanted and appreciated. And like you said, a lot of them, it seems, are, friends or friends of friends. So knowing that you're like helping a friend out,
For
I'm
sure.
sure that also helps you, every day when you get
No,
there. And
so it's a true family business, man. So my
Yeah.
brother works with us. My sister works with us. My other sister, a couple days a week, when she gets out of work, will come plug in for 20 hours a week. I'm here. My wife's here. My son's here. A lot of our best friends are here.
Right.
So it's truly is a family business. Like we always joke as a family. Like I never used to talk to my sister. Me and my sister might not have got along for the last 10 years. And once she started working for us, now we talk every day. We hang out on the weekends. Labor Day comes up, we're going to mom's house together.
Right.
There's a Suns game on, and we're like, hey, let's catch the Suns game after work tonight. So we're a lot closer now as a family than we were before the business too. So the
Right.
business was here for the family's here for the business. It kind of goes hand in hand. It works
Yeah.
out well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, look, I appreciate your time very much. Been going almost an hour, so
Okay.
we'll end it up here. But what would be the best places that people could, either check out ShipMyCards or check you out, follow you or reach out to you personally?
So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. If you want to talk to me personally, Facebook Messenger is where I respond the absolute fastest. ShipMyCards.com. Keep watching the website. It's going to continue to grow and get better. Mainly that first landing page. And then if you ever have questions on the website, YouTube is the way to go. Whether it's myself or we have a lot of users that kind of made their own videos on how to use the website for their countries in English, Spanish, French, German, Chinese. If you're interested on kind of the how-to of the website, YouTube is probably the best place to go. Type in ShipMyCards there, and you're either going to see something from us or from our collectors that give you a lot of details on it.
Great. All right. And I'll make sure to put all those links down in the description so that everybody can check that out and, check out what ShipMyCards is doing. Reach out to Bryan if anyone has any questions. So thank you again for joining
Of
me
course.
tonight.
Thanks,
Thank you,
man.
everybody, for checking this out. Please reach out to ShipMyCards. Reach out to Bryan if you guys have any questions or if you're in need of that kind of service. And thank you again for stopping by. We look forward to seeing you around more.